They told you this part would be freedom. Nobody to answer to, nobody's schedule but your own. And they were right. All of it is true. You do answer to no one now, which makes it strange you're still in last night's clothes at 4 in the afternoon, that you ate standing at the counter again, out of the container. You couldn't really say what you did with the last 3 days, because nothing worth remembering happened. And you can't share this with anyone, because this is supposed to be the good part of life. Who would understand? I'm Val. I'm a retired psychology professional who's worked with a wide variety of people and settings. I started Second Half Sage to help women over 50 feel seen, supported, and less alone in the second half of life. And there have been days when I've eaten Thai takeout at the kitchen counter in my house clothes too. Every video about living alone after 60 seems to be in a spotless kitchen with a woman who's never once had cereal for dinner at night. To be fair, there are a lot of great things about living alone after 60. But we're showing the other reality because it really never gets talked about. You didn't plan this, and it happened so slowly you didn't notice. It feels like freedom in the beginning. Cooking goes first. Now you can eat what you want when you want. So cooking turns into grabbing whatever food in the fridge doesn't require prepping. You don't have to dress for success anymore. So you wear whatever comfortable house clothes you have, but then one day turns into 10. Then going out goes, because going out means being a person who is dressed and put together for the public before she goes out and having people and places to go to. The world of your home keeps shrinking, and the longer it goes on, the harder it is to go outside, until it's easier to just stay in. It's overwhelming to change, and you don't know how. And you know exactly what you call this when you're the one it's happening to. You call it letting yourself go. You're not letting yourself go. You've been let go. Let go from a daily structure you didn't choose. Where did the structure of your day used to come from? You didn't think it up. It was put on you. You had to be at work, so you were up. A kid had to be somewhere, so you were dressed. You fixed dinner around 6 because everyone was hungry then and expected a meal. For 30 or 40 years, your entire schedule was ordered by other people, and it was almost completely outside your control. You had to follow someone else's structure, which means you never had to create structure. You didn't have a need. Everyone assumed it was always be there. Your structure disappeared almost overnight. A job, kids moving out, people leaving your life, or maybe the place you used to live. The structure went with them, and no one said you needed to make your own. So now here you are with a day that has no guardrails on it. And because everyone insists this is freedom, you decided the problem must be who you are. It wasn't. You lost your framework, and framework and yourself are not the same thing. If this speaks to some of the changes you've had to cope with, subscribe so we can help more people. This is well understood, by the way. People don't generate their own daily rhythm out of nothing. It comes from outside ourselves, from daylight and meals and the movements of other people. Remove the people and the day can fall apart. It has nothing to do with willpower. But Val, then what do I do about it? Here's one thing to do, and it's easier than you think. Don't build a routine. Routines collapse within a week, and then you blame yourself more. Build one fixed point. One thing that happens at the same time every day, whether or not you feel like it, whether or not the weather cooperates. Ideally, it gets you out of the house, and ideally there are other people somewhere nearby, although you don't have to speak to them if you don't want to. The same walk at the same hour, the library, coffee somewhere that isn't home. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it does have to have a time. And here's why one is enough, which is the surprise. A fixed point makes everything organize around it. If you have somewhere to be at 9, you have a wake-up time. If you have a wake-up time, you have a bedtime. If you have a bedtime, the evening becomes an actual evening instead of an unending stretch of hours. You get dressed because you're going out. You eat something real because you'll be gone through lunch. You don't have to build a day. You build one anchor point and let the day flow from it. So start with 1, not 3, not entirely new life. 1 for 2 weeks, and let it be boring if you want. While you only need 1 and you eventually want more fixed points, you can always add them. What is your one fixed point? Tell me in the comments. I read as many as I can, and I'd love to know. Another important thing you need to know. Everything I've described can also be what depression looks like from the inside. If you feel depressed, anxious, or have any concern, please talk to your doctor or a licensed provider. That's not your fault either, and help is available. Make the appointment. The freedom part was true, by the way. You really do answer to no one now. And after a lifetime of answering to everyone, that's a wonderful thing. But freedom with no structure is an empty field. Nobody warned you that you'd be the one building the fences. Now you get to create them. Here, in your second half of life, your day gets built around what you actually want instead of around when other people need to eat. Look at who's doing the creating. You ran households. You kept other people's appointments and meals straight for decades. You already know how to make a day work. You've just never made one for yourself. Once your days have some structure in them, the next thing about the second half of life usually comes up. Explore with me in the video here on the screen. To the Sage in You.